That was Antonio Sabato Jr. at the RNC, who went way against the grain in Hollywood by publicly supporting President Trump. Now he's setting his sights on politics, running for Congress in California. Please welcome Antonio Sabato Jr. We know each other. Yes, I should say we know each other.
Congratulations on the show.
Thank you. Yeah. And I remember working with you at Fox that you were always a big Trump supporter from the beginning. And what was it about President Trump that originally that you liked so much about him, and what do you think his biggest accomplishment is so far?
Well, I think it's important to put the country first, the American people first, and I believe that's what we need right now. I support any president because I want the best for this country. I love my community. That's why I'm running for Congress, to make a difference. The American people come first in my book, and I believe that this president put the American people first, and the military first, and our veterans first. Yeah.
Light applause. After you spoke at the RNC, you claimed that you were blackballed in Hollywood.
Yeah,
give me an example. What happened to you?
Well, when I got back to Los Angeles from Cleveland, my agents and my managers all left me and didn't want to return my calls. I had some jobs lined up that all went away. So I understand about being blacklisted because, you know, me and my family had to deal with the Russian...
Well, you were blackballed, not blacklisted. It's a little different.
Well, I feel blacklisted was more related to me because... you know, my mother escaped the Russians in the Czech Republic. You know, I had family.
I thought you were Italian.
No, I'm half Czech. Okay. I'm actually an Italian Jew. So
yeah,
you're an Italian Jew.
And your family had to hide their identity during the Holocaust.
Yeah, my mother escaped the Russians, and my grandmother escaped the Holocaust and Auschwitz, and her, you know, my family died there. So we understand how that works, and I got it. When I got back to Los Angeles, it was like it's happening to me. So, but it made me a better person. I have God on my side, and I'm full of love. And listen, I'm here with you guys. I'm running for Congress. I live in the greatest country in the world, so I'm happy.
I have to press you because one thing that was surprising to me is that you, during an interview with ABC News, said that President Obama is a Muslim. Do you think that has anything to do with the black?
No, I never thought it was anything bad. I think there's millions of Muslims around the world, so I felt that it was never an insult. I mean, I'm Jewish. I became a Christian, and I felt that Obama. I mean, if he's not a Muslim, we should call him President Barry. Then, you know, I mean,
But he's not a Muslim.
But he's not a Muslim.
It so happens he's not. That.
Well, maybe it was my mistake then, or whatever. But I think that I never meant. You know, I like the president. I liked him as a person, his family. They're good people. So for me, it was never an insult like that.
So you understand he's not Muslim?
Okay, and he's not.
Do you? Do you get that? We've seen his birth certificate.
Well, no. What I was saying was he changed his name to Obama because he followed the Islam religion when he was growing up. So I felt that, you know, once you're in that religion, you stay for the rest of your life.
There's no evidence
of that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, right now we have issues that are different than what we had in the past. Right. So I think we need to focus on that right now. And we have some really serious issues in relations to our country, and we need to...
but it's important not to propagate fake news.
No, it was never like that. The media...
All right.
You know,
let me talk to you about this fact that you're running for office. Yeah. So you started as an actor on General Hospital, and then you were a model for underwear for Calvin Klein. So not for nothing, but I don't think that this is a snarky statement, but how does that really qualify you to run for Congress? Well, I mean, I don't mean to be snarky. I really don't. I'm just asking, what is the qualification?
I don't think you really have any qualifications to run. I mean, politicians become politicians. Usually they're lawyers or accountants or in the military. So I think that going back to the greatest country in the world, I have an option here. I mean, I have my view and the way I see running my county, and the people are behind me, and I'm running a really strong campaign, and I feel that we're going to win in November for the American people, and I'm so proud to be an American. You know,
you have a platform and everything. You're all set.
I do have a platform, and you know, we have to deal with a lot of fires and mudslides in my county. People were devastated. And, I think we need to get regulations lower. I'm pro-military, Second Amendment, and I'm going to do everything I can to help the people in my county.
Okay. Now, some Republicans in your district are saying that movie roles you have done in the past, in which you simulated sex with a man and you appeared nude, are pornographic and should disqualify you from representing the GOP. I think that pretty much qualifies him.
Well, well, listen, I guess we're about to change that, right?
Yeah.
So
How do you respond to that?
Together.
How do you respond to that?
Well, I've done a lot of stuff in my career. I've done a lot of movies and TV shows in the last 30 years, and that was part of my, as an actor, that's what I do. I act, so...
How do you think Pence will enjoy that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, but that's me being an actor, and you know, they made me a stronger person. Everything that I've done in my life, so I don't have any regrets.
Let me ask you another thing that is difficult for me to understand. We've talked about your family having to hide their identity during the Holocaust in Czechoslovakia, and we've talked about the fact that you came here at 12 years old from Italy, speaking no English, and this country embraced you. You call yourself an immigrant, but you're in favor of the wall being built, being paid for by the American people, and keeping other immigrants out of the country, much like yourself.
Well, the way I see it, I want the American people to be taken care of first. I don't want the American people to take care of everybody else's problems.
But if they felt that way when your family was coming over here,
you'd still be in Italy. Well, I came here legally, and we had to wait in line, and we had to struggle and save a lot of money. And so there's people like that waiting in line. So they deserve their chance. I think we need to legalize, I mean, this reform has to be reformed. Immigration has to be reformed.
So you are in support of immigration reform?
I think, listen, kids that were born in this country, and going back to the DACA situation, they need to be here. We're going to take care of them. Nobody's going to send them anywhere.
You say that, but it hasn't been settled.
But that's what I would push for. But at the same time, we need to protect our borders. So I think we need to build some sort of protection.
But Antonio, logically, people who are coming in, even legally or illegally, are flying in. They're not jumping over a wall.
Well, they're flying in.
It's a waste of money, isn't it? That's how I see it.
We are arresting at the border 1,000 people every single day. And there's probably a lot more coming in. So we can't allow that to happen. And they're bringing a lot of drugs or whatever. So we need to protect the American people. That's all I'm saying. And we need to build some sort of protection.
And you think this wall is going to do it?
Well, it's done it for Israel. Mexico's got a wall. Why can't we?
Well, it's a very big, expensive wall we're talking about. And it may not be cost effective, but that's another story.
Well, we spend $100 billion in immigration every year. The wall will cost probably less than $20 billion. So we would save a lot of money.
Okay.
All right. Well, you aren't totally taking a break from acting because you're in a new faith-based soap opera called Hilton Head Island. And it looks like there's a lot of drama. Can we take a look at the clip?
Donna Mills.
This isn't about prayer, big brother. This is about business.
And Dad built this business by putting himself in the hands of a higher power.
Call an emergency board meeting. Tell them that Daniel Trisk will be taking a temporary leave of absence. And they'll be appointing a new interim CEO.
And who's that going to be?
Me.
Donna Mills. She's great.
You know, Antonio, before we go, I'm not sure if you thought of your campaign slogan yet.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this? Because no one wants to see Chuck Schumer in underpants. That's not bad. That's not bad. Not bad.
You want to work for me?
No.
You want to be my campaign manager?
But that's all right.
Thank you. That looks good.
Yeah. I'd like to manage your career as a model in an underwear, though.
Okay.
Sure. That you got a shot at.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming, Antonio. It's nice to see you again. And make sure to check out Hilton Head on Pure Flix. And
Thank you. Very specific one, and then we'll hear from you there. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. I have a twofold question. One is about identity. I think, like, I'm from Germany, and coming to a broad country, I learned a lot about my own identity. If you have nothing to compare your own identity with, how do you really know your own identity? And I want to make a second point. In Germany, over 800,000 refugees came. We didn't know who those people are. People welcomed them. People really engaged into the community, helped, and they still do. There's a small minority which is really loud and is complaining about them, and there's a huge majority which really helps and engages with those refugees to integrate them. So what do you think about that when you talk about those huge flows of immigrants into England, because I can't see them?
Don't put the microphone back yet, just yet. I want to ask you a question. Of those million refugees that Germany very famously welcomed, if, heaven forbid, but if one of them even was later involved in an act of terrorism, I know, I just want to, because we had the case, obviously that has happened, but I'm just interested in, because of what Douglas said about the case of somebody, Salman Abedi, who was granted asylum in this country and then went on to kill. Does that change your view of the million who have been welcomed?
I don't think so, because also hundreds of thousands of Turks came 50 years ago, and nothing really much happened. So if there's one person out of 1 million.
Okay, let's hear.
First of all, it's not the case that it's been fine with Turkish migration since the Gastarbeiter period. Merkel herself said in 2010 that it had been a disaster. Then 5 years later, she made the disaster far bigger. But, you know, in 2008, Erdogan went to Germany and spoke to tens of thousands of Turks in Europe from the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany, and said at a massive public rally, do not integrate, but get involved in politics because we need you. I'm sorry, this is subversion. This is outright subversion of European democracies. So yes, we had a problem. And as for the, as it were, would it matter if 1 in 1 million became a suicide bomber? Again, it's a cost-benefit analysis, isn't it? As long as you're not the one standing outside the wine bar in Ansbach when the suicide bomber goes off, it might be okay for you. It might be okay, and it seems to be for most people in our political parties in Britain, it might be okay for you to not worry about this identity question, not worry about the numbers, but you've just got to hope your kids don't like Ariana Grande and go on the wrong night. But I think the cost-benefit analysis of this has to be weighed up, and if you do think that, then say it. Okay. Say, we'll take a suicide bombing every now and then.